some of mine are tied to dialogue and stuff like that.
All I really want to talk about is Dakota's dick.
Everyone else, the people on top, people like you, fucking sit around and do nothing all day. I know. Even though you're always bitching at me. All right, so we are live and we are recording. Make sure you guys speak clearly.
Clear and concise wording.
Should I? I'm gonna take a swig of this. You want to take a swig?
You should have done this before we started, like I said.
No, we're doing it now.
Not James.
We're doing it now. Welcome to Sequel Podcast. I'm Matt Bonta.
I'm Robert Jones, a.k.a. Mikey.
And I'm Joshua Jenkins.
And I just did a shot of Jameson. I'm cracking open a Neon Burst.
I'll tell you.
And
that would be empty by the end of this.
We are going to be watching and doing a commentary for Street Toughs. Before we get started, I will let you know when I hit play. I'm already kind of funky and loopy now. Do we want to do any updates? How you been, Josh?
Good.
This will be like a podcast.
Oh, there we go.
Are you busy
good.
After this, or?
No, I ain't doing shit all weekend.
So we can record your lines for Enter the Breach then, after we're done?
Sure.
All right.
With no practice and no script reading, sure.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, that's how everyone's been.
That's how he loves it.
What else?
And gritty.
Just saw Evil Dead. I didn't like it.
I quite enjoyed it.
And Josh is
out of the loop. I watched a lot of clips on TikTok that people are doing the cam in the theaters. So.
Camera. Bandicam.
But it's all like the same scenes.
Literally, and that's what the movie was. To me, was all the same scenes in the trailer were basically everything that was in the movie, except for like the very end thing. Like, I thought the movie was too slow. It took like 45 minutes for it to get started, and then they stopped again for a little bit before it really got started.
And does it play off the last one that they did? Like, no,
nah, it's
completely separate.
Completely separate.
I mean, you could pretend if you want. It's all made up.
I like to pretend that other one never was made because it was fucking trash.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
But you've seen the others?
I've seen the originals. The original.
We just rewatched it. What, last year, or was it early this year?
We watched it before we went to the Not in the Dark premiere. That was the same day, so January 13th.
Did you watch all three?
Not in the dark.
Just the remake.
You mean Midnight.
Midnight Bloodshed. I'm sorry, Midnight Bloodshed.
Get
So when I was freaking out,
and it was just as bad, if not worse, the second time around.
Well, no, that was on the road. I was in the passenger seat, not the driver's seat.
Still freaking out.
Well, I mean, like I couldn't talk. You remember?
Yeah.
Like I was like trying to talk. I was like, Rose, you need to drive. And I was trying to talk to her, and like I was stuttering and shit like that. And that doesn't happen to me. I don't know. I had to take a dump. You remember? Like we were out the door getting our shoes and shit on and getting ready to go out. And I was like, no, I gotta go. Like it was just those nerves. If you've seen Creed, have you seen Creed? It's like when he's doing his first fight. He's got like his boxing gloves on. He's like, you gotta cut me out of these. I gotta take a shit. You gotta cut me out of these. And it was that whole thing.
I've been wanting to watch that just for the third one with Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors, who I just started liking and was wanting to put into like Unto the Breach, like if I ever had the money. But now he fucked up and like maybe, I don't want to say he did, but maybe he was like abusive to his girlfriend.
Oh, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling my sister, like, and I started watching all of his movies and shit. And I was telling my sister, like, man, I really want to put this guy in a movie. And then, like, the next day she texted me this article about him getting arrested and everything. And it was like, what the fuck? I just, like, and so, like, his manager dropped him now. And, like, his publicity team dropped him. And this other movie, like, that he was going to be in, they dropped him out of that movie. Disney hasn't dropped him yet. Might not drop him as Kang. But,
yeah, that'd be a little difficult.
like, yeah, so, and it seemed like maybe he was in a gaslighting situation with his girlfriend, and who knows. I don't want to say he was. I'm not saying he was. Just in case.
Don't know the whole story.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not taking sides. I just think it sucks because I was really getting into him and the idea of like maybe one day having a budget for Under the Breach and getting him to be in it, right? Like if I had $5 million, like I guess his his pay for Quantumania was like $500,000. Like if I have $5 million, I'll give him $500,000 to play the lead male in my movie.
Yeah. That was the disappointing part with Quantumania. There wasn't enough Kang in it.
I read they cut out a bunch of his stuff too.
Yeah.
But maybe they're saving it for the Kang Dynasty movie. But I mean, now who knows?
Who knows?
All right, are we ready to start this movie, Mikey?
Yeah.
You watched this for the first time? You're supposed to be my friend, and you've never seen the movie?
1 in the morning.
All right. I've got my notes.
Right before bed.
And
it's kind of what I did.
Hitting play now.
It's actually something I need to comment on straight away as well.
As I fucking bang everything.
You're making a huge mess and noise.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah. Better take a
I think
shot.
you did the same thing I did. Just make notes on your phone.
Yes. I mean, lights were off and everything else like that. Alright, so this is the first movie that had this opening production logo. So, it's in Not in the Dark, it's in Midnight Bloodshed, and it'll be in front of the new Street Meets Pavement version.
This right here, I think you should edit this scene, because that doxes somebody's phone number right there.
Oh, that is someone's number right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well. It might be mine. Whose number was it? No, that's not my number. It's probably Cheyenne's.
I probably clipped that out.
Fuck it. There we go. A bag full of money. Like, it's that thing you wish that you would always, like, find a bag full of money. That's kind of what that comes from.
Every day I walk to the bus.
Here we are. Look how wide that is.
No, I love this opening shot.
This was done with those cameras right there.
No shit.
Just on top of the car, magnetized.
Was it GoPro or what?
It's a Polaroid Cube. It's essentially the Polaroid version of a GoPro. It heats up really bad, though. Street Meets Pavement has a similar opening, only at night. Like, we just drove down this way to get back home. And now this is on the way to Cold Springs. My first note here is I strapped the camera to the top of the truck to do this one day and almost broke the camera because it came loose and started fucking flying all over the place. Like, I used like a tie strap.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, how'd you strap it down?
And it came loose and was like flipping all over the place, and I was like, fuck. This is a fun shot too, because here's me driving this truck, and
Which truck is it?
that was our truck.
What happened to it?
I sold it to Luis.
Oh no shit.
It was very
I
small.
had a truck very much like that.
It was a fun little truck, right? That's what I drove to work, and that cool thing. I miss driving stick.
I do too.
But the side shot here is Corey. We have him in his car, and we kind of rigged up the camera in his passenger seat and just had his window rolled down and the camera facing out. It was a fun little rig. So that was my first note. I wish I would have done this as a checklist. Okay, so I'm wearing a duster. That's a reference to Sunny. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because they're always fighting over the duster. So I was like, okay, I'll wear a duster in this movie. So that's why I have the duster in this.
Yeah, because my first note was the whole outfit choice for this, the tie-dye sleeve cut-off sweater.
Now, did you watch the gag reel? I sent you the gag reel.
I did, yes.
So there's some shots of us where I don't have the undershirt on, and it's just my bare... That was the first stuff we shot out in the backyard before we put the shack in his garage. And I realized, like, I can't make up out my tattoos, so I got a shirt to put on underneath. So, I don't know. I just, like... Because I play an FBI agent, spoiler alert. I've got the orange hat, because, like, Rose's favorite color is orange. Just some things to appeal to her.
That goes into the whole story of this skull-faced character.
Yes, it does.
So
Thank you.
This scene,
I paid attention.
he was looking at like holes in the ground or tracks, right?
Hold on. So this shot right here, he's looking around, but then he looks over and it doesn't really show anything. Is that what you're talking about?
No, from the truck, he looked over and he saw like tracks, but there was no bike there. But it makes it look like he just walked over like 20 feet, and then all of a sudden there's a bike.
What it is he's catching a glare from like the rear view mirror, And that's what he's like, what the fuck is that? And then he wanders over to where the bike is.
Nice.
And I wrote down my note, a shot of nothing. It looks like there's nothing there. Similar to when Allie is pushed down the hill, Midnight Bloodshed, and there's nothing down the hill. It's very similar to that. So I'm up to my old tricks as usual. And that was Sam, my brother. Mm-hmm. Remember Sam?
Of course.
You practically grew up with him just like I did.
Joshua.
Sam. That's funny because you're Josh.
Yeah.
But his middle name is Josh, and we'd call him Josh. I was calling him that one day, and my mom was like, man, you're the only one that does that. Because, like, Tasia and her family didn't do it.
It's like you're the only one that calls me Mikey.
So, Corey's kids found a snake, and we drove over here to let it out, and I was like, let's fucking film it, too.
I was going to ask if it was, like, if you guys really saw that and filmed it.
Yeah, he grabbed it, put it into, like, a sleeping bag, or sleeping case, a pillowcase, and we went over there and let it out, and I was like, let's just follow it and get that footage.
See, these little in-between shots are good. It's more stuff like that. I think, like, you were trying to get audio for Midnight Bloodshed, just some nature stuff.
Yeah.
Scenes like that are really good, that just have, like, wildlife.
Did you spray the TESD on there?
Yes. All of this stuff. Like, I went over, and this is a Crimson King, like Stephen King's Dark Tower, Crimson King eye.
Stussy.
What's that?
There's a Stussy.
Is there a Stussy in there?
The blue Stussy.
Hashtag Dick was here. I don't know what that was. A V, like the TV show V.
Porno.
Oh, well, no, because Corey's thing was whenever we would talk to somebody to be like, hey, do you want to be in this movie we're making? It was always like, is it a porn? So Corey was like, my production company will be hashtag not a porno. Because you're always telling people it's not a porno.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
School sucks. Huh. This was, we say a lot in this movie. And I guess I'm going to be talking a lot about this movie, but we did, I wrote a movie called Night Moves. That's what we were going to make. That fell apart. So I wrote a remake of Crime America. That fell apart. So this was the third attempt to try and get all that shit from those previous two movies and put them into another movie. Because I don't like acting, and we got to the point where, like, we have nobody. So I'll write major roles for the people we have. So me, Corey, Wes, and Derek. Those were the people we had. Wes, who worked at JCPenney's. Like I said, everyone here worked at JCPenney's, except for, like, me, Corey, and Dakota, basically, and Daryl. There's Melody, who is the little girl in Midnight Bloodshed. I don't know why I want to call it Not in the Dark.
I'm too obsessed with that right now.
But yeah, we said so the thing behind is we were at the beach with Wes, and he was walking up to the bathroom, and he's like, man, it's really hard to walk in this sand, and some dude was like, like very dismissive of him, like trying to talk to this guy, and it was fucking funny at his expense. So I put it in all of these movies where he gets the and it culminated in like 1 million in this fucking movie.
What's the Apple reference?
I believe the Apple reference is a Death Note reference. I think we were watching Death Note at the time.
Okay.
Because the Shinigami eat the apples. Okay. And also in like Fright Night, right. the lead vampire eats apples in that. Crimson King, number 1. Oh, okay. Any notes from you guys? Any questions? Mikey?
I'm spitting them as I got them. Hence, I just asked about the apples.
God, I just watched this, too, and, like, the camera work, some of the shots are so out of focus. I'm just like, fuck.
Especially with Wes.
And that's because, like, and a lot of stuff inside here, right, we had to crop in because there's no roof. It's just like
that's just a throwback to Evil Dead.
That's right. It's like the top of Corey's garage, because we're in the garage. We put these walls in the garage so we can film without weather. Because like we put it in his backyard, and then there was like a big windstorm, knocked it down. So we built it into his garage. In fact, there was one that like we had a lot of times where we would sit around and be like, man, is this movie gonna get made? Like what the fuck? Like what the fuck are we gonna do? And Derek like took off and he went to like Bonanza and won a bunch of money, came back with like $100 or $200, and was like, let's go buy the wood and shit and build this set.
Nice.
So I went and bought the wood and we put the set together and we just figured it out. And we had people that were like, oh, we got these people, they'll come and they'll help. Never did, which is the case with a character later on, which we'll discuss. Might get a question about. But yeah, like I let Corey take point on being the cinematographer because I'm obviously acting a lot.
Right.
And this is the first movie we didn't do autofocus. We would manual focus, and he wouldn't necessarily notice when it was out of focus. So that's why a lot of it is out of focus. You see that, like, we're pushing in, because you can see there's no roof right there.
You saw the slight edge of it, but...
Alright, what else, guys? What else you got? Mikey?
Nothing yet.
I don't think mine stuff really comes up.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with the tie-dye. I just wanted to do, like, a wacky out-of-their character.
The one thing I will point out is, like, some of the dialogue, like, the back and forth, because there's so much, like, cut shots to this person speaking.
Yeah.
The tone shift, like, it seems out of conversation.
I agree with that.
In terms of, like, responses.
I agree with that. And once again, like, still kind of getting into our groove. Obviously, Midnight Bloodshed is done much better when we're doing the back and forth. We're doing over-the-shoulder stuff. We're very limited with what we can do and time and everything else like that. Like, I had her there, so I was trying to get done with her and get her out of there so that we could really focus on our stuff. What, you don't remember seeing this scene?
No, I was trying to figure out where this was.
Oh, I mean, fuck, dude. We spent all summer there, man. And then we went back there for Savage, and then we went back there a little bit for Midnight Bloodshed when they go inside the gas station. This interior was inside the gas station. So this is the first time we see weed. Also, this movie is kind of a remake of an old Japanese movie called Three Outlaw Samurai.
Yeah, who's this guy?
This is Fiasco from Godsalt. If you've seen Godsalt, Fiasco.
Premiere, I don't remember much of it, but
I mean, Fiasco, man.
so long ago.
But that's Robert Grant. He was a funny guy. I miss him. I wish he was still around.
He reminds me of somebody, but I think he'd be funny in some of your newer stuff.
He would be like, but he had problems. He took off to kind of fix those problems. I don't know where he is at now, but I do miss him. He was a great guy.
It was bothering me all while watching it. I was like, who is this guy reminding me of? And I could not fucking figure it out.
You know, and he was an on-the-fly situation, too, to get him in there. Like all this stuff was filmed separately just to throw in. This dog they found, he was like a runaway. They found him. we had him there when we were filming.
The Taco Bell dog.
Yeah, there's Eric, who's in Midnight Bloodshed.
I thought that was him.
Yeah. There we go with the absinthe situation.
I did notice, though, so he put in this clear liquid right now.
It's water.
The only time he does that, the rest of the time he just does the sugar cube and absinthe.
Yeah.
I mean, this was supposed to be a much, like, more...
It's a larger shot intro
right.
to character.
Like very theme, like moody, like mood setting is what it's supposed to be. Instead, it just comes off of, like, let's get to where we're going, instead of, like, being very moody.
Surprised he doesn't just neck the bottle by the end of it. With how pissed off he gets with people. What you found?
And the toy gun thing was, I had an idea. Like, what if people just started putting, like, guns?
Spoilers, it's not toy.
What if somebody?
That was actually one of my questions.
Because you're not supposed to make toy guns without, like, the orange cap on the
right.
front of it, right? But, like, what's to stop a person from putting an orange cap on a real gun?
Right.
And so that's kind of where that idea comes from. Is like, oh, it's just a toy gun, but ultimately ends up not being a toy gun, and it's just another reference to the legend of the skull-faced man. And, you know, this is not Daryl's first movie. He was the prison rapist in God's Salt. Could be Freddy. We've discussed this before, me and Corey. Like, he could be Freddy in prison, so for all we know, in God's Salt. So, but yeah, here's the first time we actually see Freddy. He's been spoke about in the older movies.
But this is another thing too, because of what happens to him. Is this the last movie in your timeline that he's been in?
There's a movie called Get Fiasco that I wrote that we never made, and Freddy's in that, and he's wearing an eye patch. So Get Fiasco does happen afterwards.
Gotcha.
Rafi. Yeah, we had a bunch of randos that wanted to come help out. Eric was like, I hit him up that day, and he came right out. You know, like, you can't get anyone to do that. There's no way in a million years someone would come out day of.
And who's this dude?
That's Derek. He worked at JCPenney's as well. He was down to come and be in the movie. And he was a character that was in Night Moves, and then in Crime America remake, and then ultimately in this. There's, Sam was one of those guys, my brother, right? Tell him where he needed to be and when he needed to be there. and then sent reminders and asking, you know, are you good? Are you good? And never hearing back from him and fucking breathing a sigh of relief when he showed up on the day that we needed him. There's the script. Everybody took a shot. As the old Sequel Productions drinking game goes, if you see a script, take a shot. Now here's the same back room as in Midnight Bloodshed.
This is like your biggest set piece across all of your films.
Is Corey's garage.
And that's his wife?
That's Corey's wife.
Yeah.
In real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could see just how bad the quality is. It's such a bummer because
the lighting kills the shot for sure with that camera.
Like, man, so much potential. It's so funny. Like obviously we can't hear the dialogue, but like I was laughing my ass off watching this the other night.
Yeah, I mean the dialogue in this is really good. Wrote a lot of good lines on it.
All right, so this is a reference to the Skullface Man because she says she lost her hat, her favorite hat, right?
Right.
So that's Ashley's, I don't even remember her character's name, but that's her hat, right? So if you're paying attention, the Skullface Man's wearing an orange hat.
Right.
So, like, I'm wearing an orange hat.
Nobody
which
knows
is
exactly what
the
they
red
look
herring.
like. All right.
Right, but she has the orange hat. So, like, and of course we see later she's got the Skullface makeup on. And Daryl's character, Freddy, reminds me of your old man. So those are stories about... Excuse me, sorry. Drink this beer fucking gross, dude.
Is it too bad?
No, this is good, but like burping and shit. So here, I always forget about these when I think about Street Tales, but this is Dakota playing this part. So Dakota is playing the Skullface Man who is supposed to be Eden's dad, as well as Ashley's character's husband, and he was kind of like the inside guy for the club and would make sure that everything is on the up and up and no one's trying to like scam off the top, which is what Freddy does. But ultimately he gets killed somehow. I don't remember. There's Melody fucking around. There's a black spot right there, which sucks, but oh well. That was an establishing shot as to why we have light at nighttime. This because we got a lantern in there. Are you Skullface Man? You're him.
That could be.
Are you gonna help me shoot him with your gun?
We talk about bad. You gonna rape me?
Oh, okay. And when Sam was walking out, Daryl's like, "Sid, you're my number one guy." That's a Batman reference. When he's like, "You're my number one guy." Man, my next note isn't for a while.
Mine jump around. It is. Some of mine are tied to dialogue and stuff like that.
I mean,
though,
all
too.
I really want to talk about is Dakota's dick. But that's not till later.
when he gets killed that way.
Yeah, because I was gonna bring up like, I mean, we can still talk about it, but
Absolutely.
like throughout this, there's a lot of people's phones being dead,
Oh, right.
and I'm like, it seems like you have like a theme going in some of your movies
not
with
in the
people's
dark as
phones
well.
being dead. Yeah.
Well, because we live in the time where everyone's got cell phones, right? And Rob Zombie said this on his commentary for House of a Thousand Corpses, why he wrote it for in the 70s. He's like, everyone's got a cell phone. Everyone's got AAA. You can't break down and be in these situations anymore because you can, call for help, call for AAA. They'll come pick you up, fix your tire, whatever, get you on the go again. So
It's either you write it before it happened or you write it around the technology where it's a detriment.
right, so like the phones are dead, right? My cell phone's dead. I can't call the feds to come and help out. So it's like, you have to throw that in. Otherwise, like, why aren't these people just calling the cops, man?
Right.
Haven't they ever seen a horror movie before?
We got some feedback. There it goes.
There we go. That's your next movie. Focused on dying phones. You call it 10%. That's another film. And it's a slow countdown. Every so often it flashes a percent of the battery on the screen. Then
Do like the 24.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just have that same
The time.
theme. Just every percent going down.
Here's Wes getting pissed off and shit, looking out. So funny. Like, we had this set in Corey's garage. Herzog written on here because Herzog is a filmmaker who we kind of were heavily influenced by. All right, so that's me, right? That's me with the mask on the left, and then the other one is Derek on the right. So yeah, there's Derek and there's me playing extras, because
That's
we didn't
crazy.
have extras. So we had a bunch of different masks.
I thought about that when I was watching this last. I was like, why are only those two wearing masks? But I'm like, they could be, prospects or whatever it is. Like,
and I always like the idea, and like got a bunch of those masks of just having a gang of guys just wearing masks. It's kind of, what's that video game? There's like an older video game where they have like masks like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Manhunt?
No, it's like Fortress, Team Fortress. It's not Team Fortress.
are you talking about like what is it, like the Army of Two, where they have the,
No,
like, the
not
skull?
that, but that's not a
It's like
bad
theft
reference.
Game?
Yeah.
Heist game?
It's kind of like that. What's that orange box?
Oh,
Team
are you?
Fortress.
Yeah, it's Team Fortress.
Team Fortress.
Team
Yeah.
Fortress, they don't wear masks, though.
Yeah.
I know, but I want to say it's styled in that kind of type of game.
Overwatch?
Yeah, like the.
Thousands?
Yeah, so there's Derek and me again.
Counter-Strike?
I'm trying to bring up.
Like how
And
old?
As old as Team Fortress is. Isn't there a guy on Team Fortress that wears like a mask?
Yeah, the
Schema.
assassin guy or whatever.
Okay, maybe it's just kind of based on that kind of thing.
I mean, there's games like Payday where you're doing
Payday,
heists.
Payday,
and you wear
Isn't it
masks.
Payday? Do they wear masks in that? Payday?
I mean, yeah, you're robbing banks, you wear a mask.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe that, but just like,
Or like Grand
they're
Theft
all
Auto.
everyone's got like their own mask. Because you see like Nikki will be wearing a mask,
Right.
and Pablo wears a mask.
Or
And this was so funny, right? Because he's yelling at him, and then I'll say shit out to him, like "Go for it" or whatever,
Yeah.
like that. He's like, "What? What?" Also, like Melody's not really there. We put her to sleep so that we can get rid of her, but still have her in the location,
Right,
so that we
right.
can work around.
Smart.
And she was only 2 then. She even says the line. It's like, what can she
When's-
say? We'll
when's
have her
Sam
say
coming
that.
back for a film?
2. God, Sam was supposed to be Not in the Dark. Didn't make it. Didn't make it.
What's the next one you've written him into, or he has to be there?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to be in anything. That's
Yes,
why
he
we
does.
get other actors. But he's good. He's one of the best people in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Sam was really good. Everyone agrees that Sam was really good in this. He's like, got your phone, homeboy. And of course, this night when we went out there to film, it was like a graduation day. And there was like a pit party out in the back. And there was always cars going by. And one time a car came over, probably to meet the other one to lead them. And they were just shooting a gun out into the desert. And we were all fucking getting down on the ground so we didn't get fucking shot.
Yeah. I think he told me about that after I watched this the first time.
Yeah, because they didn't know that we were out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't Corey talk about that recently too?
Maybe.
At the
wrestling?
yeah.
Maybe. He might have. He
It
likes
sounds
to tell. He
familiar.
likes to tell. He's got the same anecdotes that he likes to tell. Right here, look, that's me. I kill myself.
Fuck, dude.
That's Derek again. These are separate days than when we were outside at night and then when we were inside during the day filming. And then the one dude's like Corey's neighbor from across the street, and Derek called the buddy in. But yeah, so I just killed myself there. I think I killed
You
the.
pulled a Damon?
Oh shit.
I kill myself like 3 times in this movie. Because I think later on, he comes back with another crew.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause here he is, fucking like, sorry, man. And when we premiered the movie, Sam wore that to the premiere in Las Vegas.
Nice.
And this mask here that he breaks,
Is that Tom Darko?
it's kind of symbolic to a real life situation. Before I got with Rose, right, there was this chick that I liked that I was kind of going with, but I shouldn't have. I think I've told the chick in God's Help. And she made that when we went to, like, when we cosplayed, right, at the Comic-Con. And I had it, and I was like, you know what, let's end this. So I have him smashing it, kind of ending. I know. I wonder if she ever saw
And then
it.
the pieces of it are in the following scenes.
I wonder. Well, I mean, look, there's still the ear, but I
It's
wonder
like he
if
just
she,
does it, his hands on it, and then it's like clean. And
I mean,
it's like
if she watched it, she'd know exactly what that was. I wonder if she ever did. I always wonder if these people that I was with ever like watch my, following things, right? Because like my
Right.
first wife, she made movies. We made movies together. So I wonder if she kept up with watching
Your stuff.
like Street Toughs, Not in the Dark, Not Midnight Bloodshed. I know she watched Street Meets Pavement and God's Salt, but I wonder if she kept up post like not talking to me anymore. I mean, it ultimately doesn't matter. I have this natural curiosity about things because it's weird. It's weird that like me and her were together for like 8 years and we made movies, and the evidence is online,
Yeah.
podcasts, the movies themselves. And then she went on to have like at least one child. I don't know if she's had another one since, but like that kid will grow up and
son.
have footage and podcasts of like her mother in this like whole other life.
Right.
Not a lot of people get that, right? You know, most people just have normal lives, normal jobs. Okay, so this
driving
right here.
scene, were you trying to green screen this at first?
Okay, yes. So
like,
we did green screen this, and when I gave it to Greg to edit it, he was like, the green screen, the lighting on it was not consistent, so I couldn't key it out. So he ultimately cut it. So Greg cut this movie down to like an hour or something like that, and he cut out like this whole scene. He cut out a bunch of other shit, and I had to go back and re-edit it into it, like a whole 15 minutes. And I was like, what the fuck?
To me, I mean, I didn't even realize that they were driving. I thought they were just hanging out in a car talking.
Which is fine too. That works.
Like they're trying to get like some privacy, just the two of them to talk about what's going on, and then all of a sudden here's Weed sleeping in the back seat.
Yeah, no, they're driving back to the shack, right? And he's like, don't take any bikes.
Right.
Because we didn't have any bikes to film. That's why.
Oh, that's why.
That's why they're driving there.
I thought, I mean, to me, like, from an outside perspective of that, it's like, don't take any bikes, because you can usually hear bikes coming.
Right.
Cars are a little different.
And they're noticeable, like,
Yeah.
there's a biker club going, like, maybe cops will pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, all that, absolutely. And that's good.
Because, like, it's like, you know...
And she's crying. Every time we needed her to cry, I put on that skull mask. She hated it. So, yeah, so whenever you see her crying...
It's just you staring at her with it.
Mm-hmm. And then there was this, like...
traumatizing a child.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's the way to do it.
There was, like, this little white seal stuffed animal that she really liked. So when we needed her to kind of, like...
Put a knife to its throat.
Calm down.
Like, calm down, or react in a positive way, like walk over to something... Or, like, put her arms out. Like, she would do things. Like, she would eat an apple and shit. Like, so, like, you know, I'm writing around what I know she can do. So, like, that white seal, she loved that white seal.
So, in 10 years, she's going to be one of your star actors? No?
I doubt it. But you can see that the walls aren't there as I'm walking out.
It's just dark.
It is. It's just dark, and it's fine.
So, yeah, my whole thing is... Like,
There's me again, and Derek.
You're about to kill yourself again.
I'm about to
yourself
kill
while you
myself
take a
again.
piss?
Yes, I look over at myself while I'm taking a piss.
Why is
There
it so
comes
bright
Wade.
out there? Jesus Christ.
Car lights.
Lighting.
Jesus.
That's the moonlight from down here. So yeah, Derek and me again. And Sam not playing Sid, right? Because he's got a mask on. There's me killing myself for the second time.
You died a lot.
Second time I'm killing myself. And see, now here comes Derek.
Now, what's
as
this
Bryson.
guy's character based on? Did you make him off of another character from something? Not your films, but
the Japanese movie. There's a character.
There's like an Axeman in that.
He has. Well, he's got a samurai sword.
Okay.
But once again, hold on. Before I ran out of ideas and was like, fuck it, I'll remake this movie. Night Moves, I wanted a cop to be carrying an axe around, be called Braxton the Axe. Murdoch, like, he was, like, kind of crazy and intense. Just like this, like, shitty cop. In fact, he dies in Night Moves in this really cool way. And that movie is about, like, trying to get a kid back as well, I think there's... Yeah, no, there is. There's a kid in that movie.
Like,
I'm not watching that one.
Well, I mean, I didn't get to make it. We spent one day on it at this dude's house, and then I went on vacation because I thought that dude was going to bring in actors, right? I thought he was going to bring in interest because he was big in the acting and theater community. But then no one really came out to audition or anything like that.
Like a bear with no teeth.
So, did you watch the post-credits scene?
Yes. Gummy bear. Yeah. One of my last notes that I had was the whole interaction between you and Weed is great.
This right here?
Yeah. Like the whole stuff between you and Weed.
And this fight scene is not too dissimilar to the one between Jason and Booth at the end of the movie Midnight Bloodshed. I'm about ready to get to my second note. Where'd I put my phone?
Oof.
So yeah, my character is Clint, and he says like Clint Eastwood, and I think
Right,
it was
yeah.
based on the Man with
My
No
Clint.
Name trilogy, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah, lick my Clint.
Yeah.
I forget where the idea behind this gun comes from. I think I saw a picture of a gun that was painted similarly, and I had Corey paint that up, and then I had him paint those gold, the little like suppressors or whatever those are called.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of Nicolas Cage's guns in Face Off. His were like gold plated.
He has the gold like Desert Eagles. Are they Desert Eagles or just 1911s?
I don't remember. It's been a long ass time since I saw that movie.
And then in the Thomas Jane Punisher, he's got those same suppressors on the end. And then I've got like these cool like cave woman pearl handles. You never see them because I'm always holding the gun, but they're there. And I convince Weed, and he's super fucking tired here, right? He's supposed to be like drunk or something, but he's just super fucking tired. And I just let him do whatever, say it however he wanted. It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, because even like rewatching this with his character, I'm like, who is this guy supposed to be? He's hanging out with this biker club. Is he just like
dirty cop? Yeah,
and then I kind of got onto that later on. I forget where he references it, but yeah, he's basically a dirty cop that works with.
I think when he's talking to one of the girls. It's like that's detective.
Right. Oh yeah, when he's talking to Pablo.
Yeah.
Pablo.
Yeah. Right.
Which we need to talk about.
Yeah, so we'll get to Pablo. God, I feel like there's a bunch of shit that I'm forgetting to bring up. Like we had our problems, but we were able to overcome them, and we were able to make this movie. And we screened it. We're the same place we screened Godsalt, which was like a rehearsal space, and we screened it there. Had a lot of fun at that one. Had even more fun at he fucking tripped. And I left that in there because I thought it was funny. I think Greg had cut that out, but I know put that shit back in. I put that back in. All right, so here's where my next note comes up. So I tell him that there's like a flask in there. He pulls out a flask and he's like, "You got any olives for martini?" Yeah. And one of my favorite movies is MASH, the movie MASH, not the TV show, but in that, when the character of Trapper John shows up, they're like, "Oh, we got martinis. You want a martini?" He's like, "You got any olives?" And they're like, "Well, we're in Korea. We can't get olives anywhere." And he pulls out like a can of olives and drops an olive into his martini.
Why would he ask for olives if he already has them?
It's not a martini without an olive.
Right.
Yeah, well, why would he ask if he already has
Maybe he didn't want to use his rations that he had. I see. And Corey just takes like a handful and fucking shoves them in his mouth and he mixes it around. I don't think he liked olives too. I think that was the thing. I'm running out of notes here.
He's like, "This is delicious." Did he spit it out or eat it?
I think he ate it. I'd have to ask him. I don't remember if he liked them. Oh, written on the board here is "Disappear Here." That's from the book Less Than Zero, and also the movie that they made eventually, Less Than Zero. All right, this is where he kills Sid.
Sid's the VP, right?
Sid is the VP. It does say vice president on there. Freddy's the president. Corey is the sergeant at arms. And I had a great uncle who was the sergeant of arms for the Hells Angels in real life. And there goes Sid. Bye, Sam.
There's no blood on the wall.
I was just thinking
no
the same thing.
wound.
No exit wound. Got trapped in his heart.
God damn.
And a very kind of monotone, like, less amped up after having killed somebody and yelled at him.
He's fucked up on that absinthe.
It's mostly mostly him trying to
remember. Green Fairy.
I gave him a lot of fucking lines. And this is a filming trick where he's looking out the window at nothing, essentially, and I cut to these clowns. Like, this kid lived next to Corey, and he got his buddies. Like, they're all dressed like they're fucking high school.
I don't know who any of them are, but they piss me off.
Yes, no, they're bad. They're terrible. Sorry, guys, but they're wearing basketball shorts, and then they put the vests on. They patch him in real quick as prospects.
Shit, bro. Get in the Jetta, we're getting out of here.
All right, this is one of my favorite parts right here. So he's watching as Nikki brings in a couple of hookers for him right here. So Ashley and Genesis, Cheyenne, they all worked at Penny's with us. Like, everyone in this movie, we all worked together, and I was like, let's go fucking film. We're going to film.
Invest into your...
I mean, if by invest, meaning that, like, my paychecks that I got helped to produce these movies.
Indirect.
She's like,
yeah.
I love it so much, and she does it again. She's like, it's so fucking funny. She's just taunting him. Okay, so this is my Smoking Aces reference. So she, like, grabs her and pulls her, like, what the fuck? She just, like, kicks it.
I was going to ask, like, so what's with the outfits, though, for the hookers?
So when we made Night Moves, and we filmed that one day, and then I went on vacation. I went on vacation to Japan, and I was very steeped in Japanese culture, and
Because he puts on like a...
He puts on, like a shogun mask.
Yeah.
Or a samurai, an oni mask.
Yeah.
All right, here's the
this
first...
is Pedro.
This is Pablo.
Pablo.
Tell
me about this character in the back.
So originally, I wrote this movie for Gabby to play Nikki, right? So Gabby in real life is kind of quirky. Putting her on camera, like, she stopped being that, and it was impossible. But also at the same time, she was like, "Hey, I'm going on vacation in a week, and this and this and this," and I was like, "Fuck, Cheyenne, can you play Nikki?" Right? And then Gabby's boyfriend at the time was supposed to play Pablo, but he was a fucking piece of shit and was like, "Oh, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it." So I was like, "Fine, Gabby, you're going to play Pablo." So Pablo was written for a man.
That's what I thought.
But I gave the part to a woman, and she is a woman as this role. She is not, like, transitioning to anything.
Not packing the heat.
She's not packing the heat. But, like, it's funny because she comes up. I remember I was showing Luis a scene, and he got it because she comes up and she's like, "Hey, girl." Right? And then she walks away. But then she comes back and she's like, "Hey, girl." All right, so this is a fun little neat trick, right? So you got Cheyenne, and she's beating up the daughter that she brings in, right? She's beating up the daughter. This right here is one of those scenes where people need to not break. All right, and then you've got Gabby with the daughter. We actually only had those two women there. So when Gabby's not in the scene, she's playing the daughter. When Cheyenne's not in the scene, she's playing the daughter, right? So that's a fun little film trick.
Why the Funyuns?
Oh.
I was gonna ask, is this supposed to be like condoms on those bottles?
No, not condoms.
Nipples?
They're baby nipple.
bottles?
Yeah. On the Johnny Walker bottles. I forget where the Funyuns come from. I think maybe Gabby was always eating Funyuns, or someone might have mentioned, like, or maybe Derek was eating Funyuns. This was fun. Having them fucking
did you just
do
tell
like
them
this.
Go wild?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Oh man, and they were kind of uncomfortable doing it. Okay, here's Nicole, who is Dakota's wife in real life. Oh fuck! But no, in the Crime America remake that we were supposed to do right
Dakota's
before
killing
this.
his own wife right now.
Yes, he is, and she's kind of smiling during it too. But in that Crime America remake, and I filmed it, she's like, "I'm not just, or no, Dakota pops up and he's playing Billy, and he's like, "We're not just gonna spend all day drinking whiskey and eating Funyuns." And then it cuts back to her like taking a sip of whiskey and then eating a Funyun. I can actually show you that scene. We filmed that scene. But that was a reference to that. I forget what it was. Maybe Derek loved Funyuns. I forget what it was, but that's what it was. It's like they gave him Funyuns, the whiskey, and the two hookers to fuck. And he puts the mask on because he's like a creeper.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were wearing geisha costumes because I was steeped in the Japanese culture, and a lot of that was in Crime America and Night Moves, because like we were vacationing in Japan just to, and I love like anime and things like that. So he comes to get the cord so that he can charge his phone, but then he uses it to defend himself against,
which was smart,
Dakota's character, and he cuts it in half.
The scene gave me flashbacks to Walking Dead when Daryl has to get his bike back.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
leaving the compound with his bike, or a bike, I can't remember, it's been so long. This made me think of that.
It fucking hits a thing.
It's like a doorknob, man. Catch you around the fucking belt loop.
Alright, what else do I have? Smoking Ace reference. Oh, when he's out there, he's like, "Fucking scabs." So I always thought it was funny when Mikey, when we were watching wrestling back in the day, and all the referees went on strike, so they'd have scab refs, and it was always funny when there was a new scab ref. So that's why I added that in from when we were watching.
Kills me in this one.
You hate it?
Kills me.
It kills you?
It's funny.
Well, now he's like a bald guy.
It happens.
And here's Varia. This is a good shot where I follow him out. He's also got a similar shot that's really good in Midnight Bloodshed, where he's running up to the bike and we close in on him.
I wrote down my favorite line coming up.
Oh, really? I'm looking forward to this.
It's a friend named Weed is a friend indeed or whatever.
Oh, yeah. A friend named Weed is a friend indeed. And I think that was something that we were just kind of
or
fucking
friend
around
indeed
with.
or something, yeah.
He's like a friend. A friend indeed is a friend.
Yeah.
All right, this scene was originally all the scabs. So Night Moves had a Mexican gang versus the cops. So the scabs were going to be a bunch of Mexicans because, like, you know, everyone I work with and all my friends are like Mexicans because of everyone I work with, like Luis and all of his buddies.
Right.
So this was supposed to be a group of Mexicans that he was going to fight, and they were supposed to speak in Spanish to each other. And I should have had like Luis come or someone else and have them speak Spanish to each other because they're two white guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it would be
the
super
sunglasses
funny
thing?
when they fall onto his head.
Is that a Corey special? Was it anything before this, or is it just
It's just Corey
a
likes
lot
to wear
of
sunglasses.
tropes happen here and on?
Well, because he wears sunglasses, right? So in Midnight Bloodshed, when he's running in the woods, the sunglasses fall off. And then in the next shot, he has them back. You don't see it because we crop past it, but he does pick up the sunglasses when they fall off and put it back on.
What about the thing with Damon as well? The whole trope of like flicking something down, like the mask, down, sunglasses down, flicking them.
Oh, that was
place like
accident. That was accident.
Was it?
Yeah. And the funny thing is he's constantly leaving her to go for another dude, right?
Right.
To go help out me, both this time and the later time. And, like, Corey's like, you know, in real life, if I was a biker doing this, I'd be fucking her, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably true.
But he's going through a change of heart on things.
Yeah, and there's a situation going on that they're in the middle of. And here he's back. Corey's back. Hashtag not a porno. Herzog. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is either.
That symbol?
That
I don't
one?
know what that is.
No, what is that? Do you know what that is? You don't. This one is like...
It's familiar.
I think that's a
dick and
satanic...
balls.
It does look like a dick and balls, but I think it's a satanic.
Because that was my thing with like weed in this, is like how quick he was to just jump ship.
Like, fuck it.
He's tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just tired of it.
And you kind of get that like when he starts talking about the whole thing of being a sergeant at arms. And
Right, and like...
we do all the work. And
That's from me at work over here at Penny's. That's literally me speaking. He's speaking how I feel.
I do all the work, and everyone
And
else.
the people on top, people like you, fucking sit around and do nothing all day. I know. Even though you're always bitching at me.
Dang.
Sorry,
I don't even work there, but that's a deep cut.
Sorry, John.
I feel attacked.
I don't mean to
It's
demean.
personal
I don't
now.
mean to demean you in any way, shape, or form.
But I get it because I do work there.
Yeah, but like you didn't work there when
Right.
during this time, and
Because this was pre-pandemic.
I feel like you're getting punished, dude. I don't want to say anything here. I'm sure you don't want to say
No.
anything here either. But like, oh, there's a pentagram over there. This is pre-pandemic. This is 2016, right?
Yeah.
Melanie was probably my fucking supervisor for the first time. The silence
Yeah,
is deafening.
I'm just not gonna say anything.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, this is his big speech. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. That's exactly
it.
what it says.
Okay.
And his character,
I'm good
his
at
real
it.
name,
I'm
his
good
real
at
name is Lauren Billings, who was my real great uncle, who was a sergeant at arms for the Hells Angels. Like, have you seen Sons of Anarchy?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it? They bring the founder of Sons of Anarchy, or of the Hells Angels, into the show. He's like an older guy, and I guess like my great grandmother and her brother, they all hung out together back in the day. Like they knew, like she knew that guy, but like they're all dead now, so I can't talk to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he says a Filipino word here too, wasak, which is like broken. He's like broken inside and shit like that from everything. Even though he looks fucking young as fuck here compared to like not like he does look super young. I mean, we're all getting older. We're all, I know, like Savage and then Midnight Bloodshed. Like, you know, we're 38 now. I'm 37 still, but he's 38. But back then, right? Like what, 7 years ago? Christ, dude. Probably like what, 31? Fucking bullshit. All right, so check this out. I can't pause it, but those three are the same people as these three, and we just split screened it. And it's me, Wes, and Luis, a different Luis than you know, Luis Garcia, Fernando Lopez, or whatever it was.
What's with her and fucking Scumbag?
And, you know, Greg cut that out. That's one of my comedic bits, and he cut that out because she doesn't have a comeback.
Yeah.
Right? And Scumbag's like a bullshit, like, when he called, you fucking scumbags! And she, like, it threw her off. So she, no, fuck you.
You're fucking
scumbag.
Fucking scumbag. All right, here's my other note. He's like kicking rocks.
Yeah.
I was with Rose, and we were at Wes and Martina's apartment one time, and her daughter and her nephew, they were like fighting over picking up like the grandparents from the airport and through text, and she texted something like, fuck him, he can go kick rocks. So I'd never really heard that before, so I was like, okay, let's have him kick rocks, and that was my note there. This is Gabby again, and I used Rose's daughter Leah, who's out there, to do the voiceover for that character because I didn't have anyone else. And then my last note is that Corey is the MVP of this movie. Mm-hmm. Do you guys agree that Corey's the MVP?
Yes, for sure.
So, because Weed leaves the club.
Yes.
So, is Midnight Bloodshed before this then?
Definitely. If Corey's wearing the jacket with the tags and everything, then it takes place before this. So this is Corey's final hurrah with the club. And Freddy's in Savage doesn't have an eye patch or anything, so that's obviously before this movie as well.
Right.
And she's just holding the
radio.
The radio. And I've got the glasses on because I've been complimented with wearing glasses by people before, so I'm like, I'll wear glasses.
I still think you look like a young Nick Frost.
Nick Frost?
Nick Frost.
Mick Frost.
McFlurry.
I think I bought those shoes for her too, just like I bought her the shoes for Midnight Bloodshed. I'm not sure if I bought that. I might have bought the costume for her as well. Upskirt shop, that's fucking porno. What the
Disgusting
fuck?
Child porn. This guy's on the list.
This noose is the same noose from Godsalt when they string up Fiasco's character.
Whoa.
And this, I took, like, me and Cheyenne went up to a bunch of different, like, thrift stores and looked for props and shit, and she really liked that pillowcase, so that's...
Was it even piss-soaked?
Piss-soaked pillowcase, is that a reference to something?
I mean, like a potato sack.
Fiasco and Godsalt was the one in the very beginning running, right?
Yep. Yeah, and the same actor, and now he's eating my apples.
You said you ate them all already.
I know. I said that.
He's
but...
Continuity.
He was lying. He was saving some for the kid.
Yes.
Why she tried to mandible herself?
I think that's just her like being stressed out and anxious from being scared by the mask. She used to do a thing like we would joke with her like at that age. Like, we'd go to, like, Walmart or something, and we would just, like, leave her in the car and, like, close the doors and, like, walk away. Just to fuck with her, right? And she would do that. She would get all fucking anxious and, like, start biting her hands. Mm-hmm. So that was her go-to for anxiety at that age. Oh, no, this is what she would do. She would, like claw her fingers. That's what she would do for anxiety. She would always do that because she had really bad separation anxiety. I mean, we would go back and get her. We didn't leave her there. Yes. On record.
We come back an hour later. She's fine.
We were just...
We eventually came back.
And then we have... And then we have Robert... and then we have Robert picking her up and trying to calm her down.
Disgusting foot shot.
It's so... I know. It's so funny that, like, we have Robert doing this. Like, he'd never met that little girl before. And they're potentially out there, and they're walking past them. And here she is holding an Angry Orchard. I always had beer on hand for everybody to drink. Like, you watch the gag reel, and like Gabby's supposed to open it up, but she kept fucking up. She wasted like 3 beers because she didn't want to drink them. She's like, Derek, to give him so he could fucking drink it. She kept fucking.
Has there been more booze drinking than Patriot Zombie?
No.
Amongst the entire...
Never.
Like that? Okay.
Non-professionals, man. Non-professionals. And he would really drink these, so when she's drinking it, that's just the water. This is water.
Just with some food coloring?
Yeah, the dark green is water, but when you see that it's light green in there, it was when it was real absinthe, and he was actually drinking it. He's like, what the fuck?
It's such a dick.
Oh, and they each have different crosses on.
Right.
So she's got the black one. Melody's character, Eden, has a blue one. And I think Dakota's character has a white one. Dakota went... Not the faced Dakota, but the skull-faced man Dakota has a white one.
Skull-faced Dakota.
Skull-faced Dakota. And she's how did she get hit in the face?
The
Head
daughter headbutter.
Well, she had the
Oh, yes. When they were out there before, she's like... Oh, and that's a reference to a line in It's a Wonderful Life where she says, Entree Monsieur, there's a character that says that in It's a Wonderful Life. I forgot that.
You're having fun getting tortured there.
Well, he pours the beer on my head, right?
Was it Pabst?
It was Pabst. And Pabst Blue Ribbon, even though it's kind of like the cheapo, shitty beer and kind of a joke for people, it eventually became a very trendy beer for, like, hipsters.
Yeah.
But I get it from Blue Velvet, the movie
Yeah,
Blue Velvet.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. You've
Yeah.
seen Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
See, there's that poster I tried to send you a picture of where she's fucking strapped to the pool table. Yeah, he kept throwing her beer and it kept blowing up on her. Fuck! That was shot at a different time. And she's just making faces like she couldn't act. Like, no offense to Gabby, but, like, the acting I wanted from Gabby is who she was in real life. Turning the camera on for her and telling her action, she got all weird.
Stage fright.
What's that? Stage
Fright?
fright? No, I don't.
Do you think she was better in Midnight
for
Bloodshed?
sure.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just a matter of maturity. I think they were all like 18, 19. So, like, Genesis, Ashley, Cheyenne,
Once you get older, you just don't give a fuck.
Gabby, and then Jaslyn also. If you remember Jaslyn was a part of that group back then, too.
Was that license plate in the window? Was that a reference to anything, or was that just?
I think
their
that
old
was.
plate?
Yeah, I think that's just them having a thing because it's like Benini or something in there.
I don't know.
Fucking Wes. This is where he fucking bites the bullet. Man, this movie. So that's Luis Garcia. All right, and then this next one is Derek coming in. So it's Derek again as like a third or fourth fucking biker club member. Literally had no extras. Couldn't get extras to save her
Just
life.
the same guys in different masks.
Yeah, and like vests. I bought a bunch of vests at like Savers. All right, so I'm gonna be the one on the left, and this is Eric right here. And Eric did a bunch of like handstand push-ups prior to coming into film because he wanted to look all fucking like jacked and shit. So that's me with the bat. I know Corey loves telling that story about Eric doing like, I need to do some fucking push-ups just so I look jacked and intense.
Let's grease up, fucking do some pull-ups.
Yeah, Eric's the best. Eric is always down to help out and hang out and do shit. So here's Cheyenne looking fucking cool with that fucking mask. Hey, buddy.
Bang.
Oh, so you could see the handles on that one. And also this same day, like I remember we were filming for a long time to the point to where like, you know, not saying anything about Corey's wife, Ashley, you know, she's in the movie, but like she got real like tight about the fact that we were still filming at her house and just a bunch of people over doing shit when she came home from work. She was like, did not expect that. But like Cheyenne and Eric were like wrestling in the living room. They wanted to like, Cheyenne was very much that type of person. She's like, let's scrap. And she got like a real bloody nose, just them like wrestling and fucking around. So Cheyenne is Wes's daughter, by the way. Wes, who plays the Rudy.
Yeah.
And she's wearing the vampire mask. Like, this is her best acting right here. Here, and then when she dies later. So she's still a prospect. And she's got an old lady jacket on. So she's a biker. She's an old lady. All the old ladies. So, and I'll show you the Crime America footage after this. But, like,
So
Gabby...
Now you can have her fucking fight people. In
I
your
can,
movie 'cause
absolutely.
she's all trained and shit.
But the old lady jacket is based on the character Lobo from DC Comics, who he was missing a sleeve, wore a leather jacket, and I had Gabby dressed like that in Crime America. So she looks very much like Lobo as far as his outfit goes. Had the skull belt buckle and everything. And then the sunflower on the jacket is reference to the original Crime America in the gag reel when Nick, who Nikki is based on, when I remade it from a male to a female, he had like this stupid sunflower in his jacket. And he was like, you know, he's got sunflower on. They had to redo it, take it out. Yeah, so here he is, here with her again. Most likely would be banging her, right? A lot of banging going on with bikers and shit. If you ever watch Sons of Anarchy, they're always banging. Like, Clay banged the one prospect's fucking girl when he went over there because he pissed him off. And then that dude ended up getting killed. What was his name? It's like one
Half
nut.
sack.
Half sack.
Half sack.
One nut. And then that dude went on to like kill like some old lady or his mom or something.
Really?
Yeah. He went crazy and fucking killed somebody. in real life. He fucking killed him. Like, he's really good when he said, like, this is where he's really good. He gets real fucking tight. He's like, he fucking killed him anyways. Fuck this. And then he throws his jacket down. As we watch. Okay, and this is shot with Corey's camera. And looks like you can see the music and the sound in this shot, probably because the frames per second are probably different when I rendered it and when we filmed it. And there he goes, taking off.
Off
yeah.
into the sunrise.
Off into the sunset. Alright, so this was fun doing her death scene. So she comes in. Like, once again, this was some of her best acting. Probably because, she would get all giggly and shit, right? But once again, they were all 18, 19.
Right. Maybe because it's like the situation too, going to a dark room.
Right.
Maybe she got more into her head on it.
Maybe, and it helped. And here comes Nikki. Do a little split screen there. Radio silence.
Yeah.
Look how fucking out of focus that is. Once again, I blame Corey. Sorry, Corey. I remember being on set with Corey, and Corey would agree with me that he even said, like, I didn't necessarily see when it was out of focus. Like, he kind of just pointed and hit record, right? He lined it up on the view screen and hit record. And what did she say? She's like, you want to hook up now? And she fucking stabs her. She's kind of smiling there. She kind of is smiling when she dies out here, but like, I can look past it. This is one of my favorite scenes. When she fucking kills her and they're getting all close and shit. Like, man, what time of day was this? This had to be really fucking late. I wish I could go back and, like, be there again. Just remake this with all these fucking people again. Yeah, she's bleeding all over herself and shit. Blood all over the tank top. Maybe I might have even bought that for her. Maybe she just had one that she was willing to get rid of in case it got all, like, blood stained. And weed's back. Suddenly it goes from that scene where it's like no one's around to then, like, all of the prospects are in here.
Right.
Which, it is.
Well, she told him to get lost because she was about to kill this chick.
But then they all come back and here they are, lights are on and shit like that.
Been working hard for the last couple hours. We talked about buttons.
Yeah. See, now they've got...
Dad, my dad owns a dealership, bro.
And you can get beer out, because in the front, so, like, you see it in Midnight Bloodshed when Gabby walks up to it. There's, like, a vending machine. Mm-hmm. There's one that has nothing on it. You were able to get beer out of there. And those kids got beer out of there. They were like high schoolers. So she breaks the key off in there. That's why when they run back there, they get like the guns. You see we put a gun in the shower area.
Right, at the beginning, yeah.
So that's what they're running for. They're running to get guns. But like she broke the key off in the lock so that they couldn't get in there. And so he goes in and beat the shit out of them. I think you even see you see him fucking peek out.
Okay, it's happening. Okay.
That was the first time I seen that when I watched this on like Thursday night or whenever it was.
Oof. His dick. Oh.
It's
you totally whiffed that.
He grabs the hammer and
I got him now.
We cut away so we don't see what happens to Weed, right? Where's the hammer cut away. Alright, and she comes into here to save me. And then Rafi comes in. This was a funny day because this day that we shot this was the same. I got so fucking pissed off because Cheyenne changed her hair from red to like purple. And I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to finish the movie when you've got now different fucking hair color?
Right.
So when Derek's sitting there eating the apple, she's in the same scene, but you don't see her head at all. Because she changed her fucking hair color. And I was like, Cheyenne, you can't be in the movie anymore. Like, I fired her because she changed her hair color. I can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
Like, and all she just did it to do it, right? Like, we were almost done with the fucking movie, and she couldn't wait, like, a week, maybe 2, to change her fucking hair color. And that's just because that's who she is, right? It's that thing where, like, I'm a free spirit. I do whatever I want, whenever I want. Like, show me some fucking respect by just waiting until we're done with the movie.
Oh yeah, so
he's the
why
same
is
character.
this a trend of him getting his dick and balls
Look how much blood is there.
cut out?
Because I think it's funny, right? Obviously, in God's Salt, it's just his guts, but it's kind of the same general area.
Yeah. I love that scene in God's Salt.
But I think it's just like, okay, I think maybe it started with this, where like Dakota was willing to come over and be the extra in this movie, in this scene.
Come over, get your dick cut off.
And so when he
Not really.
I think it was just like, what can we do? All right, let's do this. And then from there, I was like, oh, I kind of keep doing that to him. Let's keep up with it. And Unto the Breach, the character I wrote for him, he gets his like the creature reaches up and grabs his junk and like rips it down. And then and Midnight Bloodshed, right?
Yep.
What happens in Midnight Bloodshed again? Oh, he stabs him with a
He just
machete.
stabs him,
So now every time Dakota is in a movie, he has to die by like genital mutilation.
The only way you
Oda.
can kill him.
The only way I can kill him, Dick Oda. And you know what? The funny thing about that is Greg named a coloring setting on the editor, Dick Oda. Yeah. So here's when we find out that we did not get like killed by that guy with the hammer.
Right.
And you're supposed to think some other random dude picks me up and throws me in the trunk, and then we find out that's just weed. There's some weird, like, what is it called when you're telling plot? What's it called? When you're discussing plot. I say it all the time, but now I can't remember. It's escaped my mind. What is it called when characters are discussing plot points to each other? You're building, you're creating, you're developing. Exposition.
Okay.
So there's a lot of exposition here about like who actually had the money, because they say Rudy had the money all the time, right? I say it right here. In fact, this is my line right here. Is like Rudy had the money the entire time.
But it was Sid.
No, it wasn't Sid. Right, it was Nikki. Nikki is the one who picks up the money. Nikki is texting her cousin at the beginning of the movie. So they both know about the money. Nikki shoves the money in the car that Sid drives to go kill Rudy, that Weed is sleeping in. So the idea is that they shove Sid in that car and are going to go like crunch the car up. That's why, like right here, she's like, what did you do with Sid's body? Because she knows that money is in that car.
Like, fuck.
None of that information is here. But, like, I think if you got a good enough imagination, I don't always hold your hand for things when I'm writing the movie and making it. I love the whorehouse. We put all these Christmas lights. This is Corey's mom's trailer. And we put all these Christmas lights on here for the whorehouse. There's the Jesus. And he's wearing the mask because he was banging this hooker, wearing the geisha. It was supposed to be Genesis and Ashley again, but I think Genesis got sick, and Ashley was like, oh, well, I'm not going to do it then. I love this fight scene. It was really hot in there, and like at one point, Derek's like, okay, let's just do this. I'm starting to get a headache. That wasn't 3 different takes. That was all the same take. One with the camera, and then the other one with 2 different cell phones. And we just edited those together. So, like, the cocaine just goes flying up in the air when she smashes her.
So that could be Gabby now. Getting out of a hold.
Yep.
And then beating him up.
And this was my old TV that was broken.
I know, Samsung.
Smashed. And I think that shirt was for Corey's barbecue. He used to own a barbecue restaurant. And I think that was a shirt from that barbecue restaurant.
Corey owned a barbecue restaurant?
Yeah, and then we put a hole in the floor right here, too.
Christ. Rude.
So, like, that was such a fun day. I had a real fun day that day. Right? We were all vibing. Me, Derek, Cheyenne, Corey, we were all vibing. And then she goes and fucking ruins it by fucking changing
Have you
hair
talked to her
color.
since?
Yeah, she went to the premiere, right? That's like kind of like... it wasn't a big thing. I was just really, really pissed. And I was just like, you can't be in the movie. You can't be in the movie anymore.
Have you invited her to another film since?
I've told Wes to. I don't know that she's seen any of them, but she likes horror movies, so I don't know why she wouldn't have seen like Not in the Dark, Midnight Bloodshed. Like she was that type of person, but she had a kid since, so
Rip.
this this cat is deaf and blind.
The cat's awesome. Fucking yeah.
That's me.
Whoa. No.
All 3 of those are me.
Dude.
She looks real fucking scared, doesn't she?
Yeah. She's used to it.
Stop!
Just fucking no. Come on.
So Gabby's boyfriend, who ultimately dropped out, had a buddy that liked to act. He was supposed to play that part and didn't. And Cheyenne was supposed to be in that scene. Nikki's character was supposed to be in that scene, and her head was going to be wrapped up from the TV. Like, her face was all fucked up.
So she
Who's
survived.
firearms? Are these Corey's guns?
Yeah, so she survived. In the script, she survived. What's that?
Are these Corey's guns?
These are all Corey's guns.
Legally acquired and
Yep,
registered.
Yep.
Never kill anybody.
All
with them.
live fired. No, I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
This is that gas station going out to his house. I think that might be me.
Is there a camera in that shot? I couldn't tell.
There's definitely some
And the
khaki
sunglasses.
shorts,
No, yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that.
which is good. That's fine. Don't do that.
Sure.
Script.
I don't know. Take a shot.
Script.
Take a shot. Take 2 shots here, Jameson.
Yeah, see, she's got the bandage from when she got cut on the neck and on the eye and shit like that. That's fucking gunfire. Remember, I sent you that photo.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when Corey hears gunfire and looks over in Midnight Bloodshed.
Right.
$20, bitch, get home.
No, he gave her a fucking just threw a stack of money at her. And her line right there is the same end line of the movie Gone with the Wind.
Give a fuck, bitch.
This is a line from Robert Mitchum's movie Out of the Past. He fucking takes off. Look at those gas prices. Those are awesome.
Yeah, no shit.
$2.75.
It's like half of
It's
this.
perpetually like $5 now.
Get used to it.
Yeah, I think it's down to like $4.20, $4.30. Yeah.
Is that a piece of carrot stuck in there?
So those were blank firing guns, but the muzzle flare didn't come out of the tip. It came out of the side where the shell would shuck out or whatever you want to call it, expend or whatever. Yeah, here's where he's like, "Oh, hey, remember your old man? He used to like wear a mask and kill people. He was like my number one guy to the hitman." And then she pops in with the fucking skull makeup on. She did her own makeup, and she found so like. We lead everyone. Apparently, she loved doing that, right? Because this is her father-in-law. So, like, he got on her nerves at times, probably because Corey would like bitch or whatever.
Right.
So it's like she had a lot of fun, fucking
Just
shooting him. Yeah, shooting him in the knee. This dude was like some kind of like in-law of Daryl's. Like he has no acting ability, right? But he
Right.
comes off very dry and kind of funny that way. Especially like this one shot coming up. But yeah, so she's got the hat back on and everything else like that. So obviously she found that from when Nikki took it. So she's been spying on her own dad and fucking turns him in for his fucking bullshit of like undercutting the club.
And who is this guy supposed to be?
He is like the head of he's upper management.
He's like somebody that works for the
That's the way-
table in John Wick.
It's
Yes.
That they send to the...
That's how it kind of comes off. Like Freddy's essentially working here in this chapter.
So like
for
let's say the Four
something
Color
bigger.
Demons comes from Tell 'em Steve Dave.
right.
And they're from New Jersey. So
and he even talks about that when he talks about in Jersey.
So the main chapter is in New Jersey. This is an offshoot in the Reno, the Nevada chapter. So he's basically he's just fucking staring at him. It's just a
He's
long fucking
cold-hearted.
shot of him. Yes,
Fucking
yes.
cold, man.
I love that so much. I remember watching this with
Slowly
Casey, and
gets
he was
hard.
just looking at me like, "Dude, it's so fucking disturbing and shit." Oh man, I love this movie so much. I wish it was cleaner. I wish it was so much cleaner. Like literally, give me $1 million. Let's go fucking pay people to spend a month making this. Give it to somebody to edit. Give me another $1 million. We'll do the other ones. God Salt. Give me another $1 million. We'll do Not in the Dark again. Like literally, just give us the time to make the movie and just get what we need and then move on to the next one until we're done.
When's the Patriot Zombie reboot?
We talked, so on the Not in the Dark commentary I did with Dakota and Ashley, me and Dakota were talking about Patriot Zombie to her, and she was like, we should just remake that. You guys can play the same parts. I mentioned that to Greg, and he's like, we're like 10 years older now.
It's horrible, yeah.
So we would just, and those are all me. That's me. That's me. All the other gunshots were me.
So you're
That's
killing
me.
yourself a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, that's me. Just wearing different masks. That's me.
It's like one of those deep meanings. I want to kill myself.
And when they shot up the shed, it was like there's a real rainbow.
That's Photoshop for sure.
There's water on there for some reason. Oh, it was raining that day. That's why it was raining. Like, you can't see the rain clouds, but the wind was blowing the rain. It was really fucking windy. So right here, Nikki's still alive. She's with her. And when it's set on fire, the way the movie's written is that while it's on fire, she's trying to get the money out of there, and her hands are setting on fire, and it was supposed to be really fucking cool. But because the wind is just blowing it everywhere. This was the last thing that we filmed, and it was super early in the morning.
Now, would an FBI agent really destroy evidence like that?
Yeah, I do what I want.
He's the FBI.
It's not about the money. It's about stopping the club. Right?
Who are you?
I pull this off. Twist ending. I'm an FBI agent. Boom. Free.
I love this. Just
Facebook
this zone.
70s style fucking freeze frames, push-ins. And earlier, just before that, he's like, what are you going to do? And that's a line that I put into every one of my movies. What are you going to do? And it's because when I took a screenwriting class.
Right.
I told you about this?
Yeah.
My ex-wife, she put what are you going to do into her script, and the teacher was like, don't put that. That's like, she didn't say it was stupid, but like essentially she said it was stupid.
Right.
Like you wouldn't say that. And then right after that, every movie we watched from like Academy Award filmmakers, there's a character that says, what are you going to do? It's like, what the fuck? So I started putting it in every single one of my movies just because of that. So Corey says it here. Greg says it in Midnight Bloodshed at the end. He's like, what are you going to do? And she's like, don't worry, I'll be fine. Then she kisses him. Not in the Dark. I don't remember who says, what are you going to do in here? It might be Alexis at the end when they're in the garage. Scabs. Dakota. His character's name is Scabs. Prospects.
Scab with a capital S.
Scab with a capital S at the end. Don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it.
Radio voice. So Greg, who edited the movie. So like Greg, I gave him my computer, this one, like in the summer when we finished it. I didn't get it back until like Christmas Eve. And he was like, the movie's done, and he gave it back. Stuns Eric Lundeen. You can see like all me, Greg, me, Corey, Greg, me, Corey. Robert Crickle. I wonder what that is. So final thoughts? You went through all your notes?
Yeah. Oh, my last note was like, the real villain of the movie is phone cords.
That's good. That's good. Kentucky Fried Wiccan. Mikey, any last thoughts?
No.
Your favorite movie?
No.
Alright, so far, we've watched Midnight Bloodshed, Not in the Dark, Street Toughs. What's the best one?
Midnight Bloodshed.
Second best one?
Midnight Bloodshed.
This one? Josh says it's Street Toughs.
Second best.
Second best. What's second best?
I mean,
This.
I love Midnight Bloodshed, but there was something about this movie I was like, this is a good movie.
Well, I mean, what about...
Not in the Dark's good too. It's just, I haven't watched the re-polished version of it now.
It's not going to be different. It just looks better.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same movie. So there's not going to be any changes, per se. Cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate that. We got a pretty good podcast out of that. Hour and 18 minutes. Any questions? Like, does it make sense? Does the movie make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, that was my thing, like, watching it. I didn't have a whole lot of notes. I'm like, because there's not, to me, there wasn't really a whole lot of holes to poke in it.
Well, I mean, also you can be like, oh, how did you do that? How did you film that? Where did you film that?
Well, that was like the thing with the snake in the beginning, and I'm like, shit, was that just like, footage found, or was it just like, no, there's the snake, and we just filmed it?
Yeah, Corey's kids found that snake, and Corey grabbed it, put it into a pillowcase, and we were going up there. So, like, the shack situation was like, we were looking for a shack to film at, and we couldn't find a shack. We went all the way up to Loyalton. Oh, yeah! What kind of bear has no teeth? A gummy bear, you dumb fucking bitch. Because me, Ashley, and Genesis were hanging out in the car while the others were like playing hacky sack while we were waiting for Corey to show up or someone else to show up. And she was looking at some like meme or something like that, and she read it, and it was like the girlfriend texted the boyfriend, "What kind of bear has no teeth?" And like the boyfriend gets all fucking like, "What the fuck? You're so fucking stupid. It's a gummy bear, you dumb fucking bitch." Yeah, and we did it with Robert as Fiasco and Corey.
Yeah, that guy needs to come back. That's all I'm saying.
I would love to get Robert back. What's playing now? Is this?
I think it goes into
Stream Meets Pavement.
Yeah.
That's right. This is Stream Meets Pavement. You guys haven't seen Stream Meets Pavement. You haven't seen Stream Meets Pavement.
I haven't seen Street Meets Pavement.
Mikey's in this movie.
Oh.
As his character from Patriot Zombie. Which you also haven't seen.
I haven't seen Patriot Zombie.
And my character, Midnight Bloodshed.
Oh yeah, you're the same character in Midnight Bloodshed. So
Just
Mikey plays Officer Brown.
Every time. Officer, deputy, detective.
Well, deputy because it's the
fucking...
sheriff's department over in Crystal Lake, New Jersey. Look at this. You shouldn't be watching this, Josh. Not until the new one comes out.
I've seen this scene a few times just because I've started Street Meets Pavement, and then I end up turning it off because it's either like I did the same thing the last time I watched Street Chops. It just started to play.
Which is what's happening with Not in the Dark right now. Is people are getting this at the end of whatever videos they're watching. Right. Man, that was fun. I had fun doing that. Are you guys having fun doing these? Mikey, God Salt's next. God Salt's next.
Yeah.
Even though you claim that you're not going to do it anymore, God Salt's next.
As long as I keep getting them fat checks.
Yeah, you and Paul keep getting fat checks.
Yeah.
So look at these analytics for Not in the Dark.
Oh man,
look, it keeps going up and up and up and up. 170 views in the last 48 hours.
It's time to sell out, boy. Sell out.
So look
Somebody
right here.
pick this motherfucker up.
It tells us 73.4% are coming from Up Next. And Mikey, based on your advice.
Yeah, how would you look into annotation?
The only problem is you'd have to watch all of the credits.
That's what I said the last time we talked about it. And nobody's going to do that. So you'd have to start it way early into the credits.
So you've got all of the podcasts I've done about Not in the Dark. You've got all the deleted scenes that I just added. Did you watch those deleted scenes?
Yeah, I did.
Really? You watched all of them?
I watched all of them, yeah.
And then the gag reel. Isn't that funny? Like, because there's that scene where they talk about... where they're on the bed and she's like, T-Rev. And she's like, what's T-Rev? Oh, he's doing this thing now where he says he pounds beer and he pounds pussy. Now, I cut that from the movie, but then later when they're in the car, she's like, T-Rev's going to pound my pussy. I love that so much. I love that so much because I filmed that scene and then I played it for Dakota when he came over to film his first scene. And he was like, me and my friends don't even fucking talk like that, right? You know, it's that whole thing, like, it's that, like, you know, we can make fun of it now because Donald Trump was, like, grabbing pussies and calling it locker room talk. And, like, Ben Affleck's like, we don't talk like that in the locker room. But, like, instead of having a scene where a bunch of dudes are talking about banging chicks, I got two chicks talking about banging dudes. Yeah. So I'm flipping the script a little bit. But, yeah, so...
I have something for you to add into a movie. All right, don't let me forget the line. It's not for the podcast, necessarily.
You don't want me to say it on the podcast?
Just in case somebody else uses it.
Oh, we don't want anyone to steal it. All right, well, that's the podcast. Any last things? No?
No.
I'm Matt Bonta.
No, I'm Robert Jones.
Joshua Jenkins.
Peace out!